Okay, Coach. What can you say about the start of the season? What's some of your early thoughts on this team?
They've come ready to work. That's what I can say. It's been hot the last couple of days, and they've come out and just really gave it their all. We were talking as coaches the other day. We're not fortunate to have AC in our weight room, okay? And so they've been coming in here every day, and we get in the weight room and they hit it hard, and they go out there and practice for me for 2.5 hours. But they've all taken it in stride. They came out and they've really just worked hard. I think everybody's excited and they know what's there and they want to go get it. But on the same side too, there's a lot of pressure. You said to me earlier, Coach, how do you go from sneaking up on people to people going to give you your best shot? And I think those guys know it too. And but they've come in dialed in, focused. We did Midnight Madness on the 10th, and they drove the sled for 2,500 yards. And the good thing about this, they drove 2,500 yards in 45 minutes. So they come in ready to work. That's what I've been impressed with so far.
Well, you're coming into this season not as an underdog. They got you ranked.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
Nothing for me, and that's what I keep trying to tell the kids. The guys. I hope they say the same thing to you. Is we can be ranked all we want to, but it doesn't matter. You still got to show up and play. And yes, rankings is nice for the community to look at and for the moms and dads to look at, and it's nice to look at them and say, "Oh man, there are people finally recognize Hart County." But in the end, you can be ranked and still not win a district championship and still not win a region championship. So we need to be humble, and we need to stay humble, and we need to take every day one day at a time, and don't look at nothing else.
I talked to some of the guys earlier about last year when I came and you guys were about to play for a district title, and the disappointment of not winning that game and how much that has been a factor this year. How much is that a factor?
It's a big factor, and I told the guys, everybody wants to keep talking about 9-3, and that's fine, that's great. I'm happy we went 9-3, but we went 9-3, don't have a championship, nothing. Well, we didn't get a region championship, we don't have a district championship. We ended up just 9-3, and we won a first home playoff game. That's great, but in the end, that's not. Where are we? So that's a driver. That's a driver. And to be truthful with you, we still feel like we were the better team, but Casey handled it better than we did, and that's the biggest thing, and that's what I'm anxious to see. You talked about what I was excited about is how they've handled this, how they've handled coming back with the excitement and the pressures on you, but they still go out there and they take care of business on the practice field. Because I told them at Midnight Madness, the difference in a good team and a team that always wins is how do you handle the practice field, and that's where I've seen the difference so far this year compared to any year past.
Well, let's go back to years past because you've been here. This is your
eighth season.
Eighth season.
Yep.
You've built this into a winning program, or a program people expect to win now.
I agree with you. I think we're there. The key is not and that's what I just spoke to a young guy. I mean, a man in there a minute ago about. He asked me the same question, and I'm going to say this: yes, we are. We're there. We have the talent to be there. We have the kids that have worked their tails off in the weight room. They bought into me. They bought into Hart County football. The teller of if you're a program or not is how do you, on the down years, how is it? And so next year, when people don't expect, they say, oh, you got this great senior class. Well, we got a good junior class, and our sophomores are really working hard. And so we have arrived. We've turned the corner. But can we fully turn the corner? And that's what this season's about, is can we really make that turn? And I tell the story, and people that know me probably hear it all the time. And when I was at Central Hardin, my first year in 2013 or 2014, Mark Perry went 9-1 regular season. We lost to Meade County. Then we went to playoffs, and we made it to region finals, and we lost to Meade County in the region finals. So we were 11-2, didn't have a district championship, didn't have a region championship, didn't have nothing. The next year, Coach Manley comes in from Meade County, and we go 10-0. We win the first district title in school history. But we get beat by Meade County in the region finals because they'd been there before and we hadn't. Even though we beat them in the regular season, they beat us. Then the next year, we don't go 10-0. We go 8-2 and get clocked by Bowling Green. They beat us by they put the clock on us in the first half. But we go on to win a region championship and play in the state semifinals. So I don't care about wins and losses right now. If we're 6-4 and we win a district title, that's a great season, and go on and play in the playoffs, because I didn't set our schedule up to guarantee wins. I mean, if you look at it, you see that every team on our schedule except for Caverna was in the playoffs last year.
Well, you when you look at your schedule, you start pretty strong.
Well, that was I had some options on the table out there, and none of them were really good. We've been playing we've been playing Caverna week 1, and they wanted to go play in the bowl game, and I understand that they wanted to go play in it, so we moved them to week 6 and kind of left week 1 open. But I was playing a week 2 bowl game at Barron County. LaRue County called, and so I thought, we need to get back on the schedule with them. That's a game that we need to play. They're 30 minutes up the road, same size school, so we put them on a schedule. And so Nelson County called and said, "Coach, you're getting a bowl game," and I said, "Yeah," and they said, "Who?" I said, "Who would we play?" And they said, "Spencer County." And I know Mike Marksberry. He's a wing T guy. He coached with Coach Brown at Nelson County and a little bit at John Hardin. So it's going to look like two of the same. It's the same exact teams playing each other. People don't realize that they beat the 6A state champions last year. They beat Bold East, and that's our week 1 opponent. So there you go. But I expect it'll be a game that we'll play. I know we'll rise to the occasion and play well. And if we lose, we lost a really good football team. If we win, we beat a really good football team. So there you go.
Speaking of a good football team, let's talk about some of your guys.
Okay.
Who's some of the guys that you've seen the most improvement out of last year to this year?
Improvement wise, we got a good group of juniors that didn't really contribute last year because we were, they just didn't. They were sophomores, didn't get in. There's a kid by the name of Christian Martin. We call him Collie. He moved in here from Colorado. He's really made strides in the weight room. Had a kid move in late last year that's really helped us. It's going to help us from Owensboro Catholic, Hunter Monroe. Had a kid move in from Barron County. His mom they moved into our district, and he's going to really help. His name Madden Morgan. He's a junior. But I tell you, there's some guys that we're loaded in the skill position. But I really feel like up front where people are going to overlook us because we're not big. We're strong. We went to a couple lineman challenge, and we won the bench press competition. All the lineman challenges we went to this year, they move well. We're just not overly big, but we're gritty and strong up front. But then you got Clark Rex Road, and you got Jordan, and you got Joshua Dan, and then of course Jackson Shoulders, who I think is probably the top tight end linebacker in this area. We're trying to find a quarterback right now, but we have a receiver out here. I think I know he played for Hart County, so he's one of mine. But I think he's as talented as anybody out there in Connor Trent. He's a high jumper. He's got great hands. I've not seen a kid, even when we were in spread at Central, that really just stabbed the ball like he does. He had some big plays last year against Glasgow for us. There's a lot of kids that I know I'm missing. I saw you interviewing Brendan, my son. People don't realize he played last year at 150 pounds at inside linebacker for us and had over 100 tackles. So he's hungry. A.D. Milby had over 100 tackles. That's where I expect us to be better, is on defense, and that's where I think these kids will really rise to the occasion. But I can go forever. I mean, we got talent. So
what's been different in your approach to bringing out the potential in that talent? With you having 8 years of experience now, what's different in your approach to utilizing talent?
To get it out of them, I don't let them settle for anything less. I mean, I say it all the time, and I know this is kind of cliche, but you'll hate me now, but you're gonna love me in the end. And they're young adults, and they have other things they want to do, and there's days where they come out here, and I'm sure they're not feeling it. But that's if we start practice and it ain't where we want it, we'll go back to the beginning. And that's the biggest thing about getting the talent out of them, is not allowing them to settle for anything less than what they're capable of doing. As far as utilizing all the talent, the good thing is it's football, and there's 33 positions on a football field between special teams, defense, and offense. We do a word of the week every week, and this week's word of the week was unselfishness, and big team, little me, and that's how we're going to utilize our talent, because it may be Joshua Dan's night one night, but it may be Jordan Bradley's night this night, and it may be Hunter Monroe's night this one, and Clark Rex Road may get two nights. You just don't know where it's going to come from or who's going to go off on that any given night. I'm like some of my coaches. I'd hate to be a defensive coordinator going against us.
Speaking of coaches, you've got a group of guys as your assistant coaches who've who've helped you
Yes.
build this program. Talk about your staff.
You know, my staff, and I was talking to Mr. Gardner in there, he's interviewing me earlier too. That's what I'm the proudest about, honest to goodness, is not, this ain't a bunch of dads who want to come coach their kids. These are all guys that have been here and either been helping me in the little league or in the middle school level since I've gotten here. They bought into me. They bought into what I approach. Coach Cowherd, Marcus Cowherd, he's from Greene County. He coaches at our elementary school here, but he's been with me from day one. And he told me, he said, Coach, it's not going to be easy. Because he was on staff here Friday. He said, it won't be easy. It's not going to be as easy to turn this around as you think it is. And, you know, but then you got my son, Dylan Griffin, who you talked to, who does a really good job of putting us out there. I mean, he markets us. And I think that's been a big thing for Hart County as well, is he puts us out there every week. You know, we went to state games and nobody talked about it being 9-3. Everybody wanted to talk to the guy who did our graphics for us. So he's brought and he was at the college level, so he's brought a mentality. This whole photo shoot stuff that happened today, he put it all together. Got Coach Boone on staff, who was a head coach here before. He's really come in and he's bought in. Coach Shoulders been with me since day one. You know, he's had kids in the program, but he's always a guy that I can turn to and he'll be honest with me and say, Coach, this is what we need to do, and you need to just, you know, you were wrong, or whatever. Just what I value what he says. But last year Trevent was with us, and people don't realize, you know, people gave me a hard time when Trevent came on. I said, how can you bring Trevent from Caverna to here? And I said, you know what? I just offered it to him. He's a friend, and now he's at Caverna, and I hope he will. He'll do the same thing in Caverna that he did for me here last year. I brought a guy on, a young man on, or a dear friend of mine who I call brother, Quentin Brown from E-Town. Things didn't go what he wanted as head coach at E-Town, and he told me back when we were together at East Hardin. He and I played against each other in high school. He was E-Town, I was Central Hardin. And he told me then, he said, Coach, you ever have your ship, I want to ride on it one day. And back in June, he called me and said, Coach, I'm ready to take that ride. So he's come down here and really brought a winners, you know, he's come from a winning program. E-Town's a program, they really are. They do it year in, year out. And he's brought a lot of energy that we need. But the biggest thing is these guys haven't faltered. They've always bought into what I've brought. And that's what I'm proud of is the most, is we couldn't be here without them. You know, they're going to get up at 6 or 5:30 on Monday morning, and we're going to come load a trailer up and we're going to drive to camp. I mean, they're all in, and guys are taking off work to be at camp, and guys are doing this. So I'm excited with the staff. I wish, if I truly believe this, is yes, Marcus was with me, but I want to say, other than Coach Shoulders, but Coach Shoulders was with me the first 3 years. If this staff had been together with me 3 years earlier, we would have won earlier. Because no matter what my beliefs are or what I bring, I still have to have people that's going to sell it for me and help me do it. I can't do it all by myself. And I think that's why you're seeing we're better than we are, because I got a good staff.
Well, you've put together, not just in this sport, but also on an administrative level, for this school. Talk about, you know, building a program.
So, it's funny you asked that, because it's literally, that's been a question I've been asked probably since into school. You know, we hired a girls basketball coach this year, and you covered that, and I'm excited to see what Jessica brings to the table. But when I sat down with her, and I sat down with the boys basketball coach, and the volleyball coach is the assistant AD, and we all sat down as coaches at the high school level, and I told them, this is what I want to see. I want to see my coaches involved in the Little League. And that's what we've lacked here for a long time. I'm involved in my Little League. I run my Little League. I want to see as the AD, I shouldn't be running the basketball Little League, because if I'm running basketball Little League, we're in trouble. Because we're going to tackle, and we're going to hit, and we're going to block, and we're going to do all that stuff. We ain't going to shoot the ball. So that's been a thing that I've had to preach. And I told Mr. Gardner earlier, because he is a longtime Raider fan. I mean, I think he's in his 70s. He coached me at West Hardin when I was in school. So, but he's always, he went to Memorial as high school. So he is a diehard Raider fan. And he questioned me the same thing you did. And I told him, I said, listen, I'm telling you, great things are coming for the Raiders. We may not win state championships, but our goal is, when we walk into the basketball court, or the volleyball team walks in, or the baseball team goes out and takes the field, people recognize and they respect us for who we are and what we've done. And that's what I think I've established a good coaching staff across the board, and they're excited. I think they're excited. We've made strides that I think in the next 2 or 3 years, you're going to see it across all aspects of sports.
Well, my last question, Coach, is about, at the end of the season, for the football team, what do you hope to achieve? What is the one thing that you hope to get out of this season?
A district championship. No, seriously, that is something that's our goal. That's our goal, is to win a district championship and play for a region championship. But that's hard to do. People don't realize how hard it is to do. You know, heck, we're a program of 52 years, and we didn't win our first football game until year 51. So, what I hope to get out of this is more community buy-in. Just the community keeps buying into us what they have. Wins will come, because if we do the little things right, wins will come. I want to see our kids achieve their goals. That's what I want to see too. I want to see the team goals, individual goals, not my goals. Because when I leave, Hart County's still gonna play football. Okay, so it's not a Chad Griffin goal. It's a team goal, and they've set goals, and their goal is to win a district championship, and it's not gonna be easy. I mean, when you have Glasgow and Franklin Simpson and Coach Stonebreaker over at Dare County, people don't sleep on their Dare County. I'm telling you, the guy can coach. When all those guys are in your district, it's not gonna be easy to do. And, you know, Butler County is a team we've scrimmaged the last couple of years. We've played them on the schedule a couple of years when I was here, and they're always big and physical, and they're going to be a tough team to beat. So there's not one week where we can wake up and say, oh, we're just going to walk our way to the championship and win a district. But in the end, that's our goal. But as a coach, at the end of the day, whenever that last game is, that my young men are better by being part of this program than they were when they came into the program.